in Academy. He has the 2 GP games. He did lose both of those. His most played was the Rumble, and he did have a 75% win rate on that. So, that is kind of why that has been banned away. But we'll see if he can pick up his first win on GP this split, as has always been a champion associated with him, and one of the best players on it in the league for a long time.
I just like the Vulcan Lucian Hover as their ex-teammates that went to Worlds together last year, and he's like, hey, Huni, I think the most catastrophic BO5 in your career was playing Lucian against TSM, and it went horribly. So just want to hover that against you, bud. Nice seeing you. We're now against each other on the Rift, and see where that one goes. I always enjoy that. I like bringing back the old player stories, old teammates, old jokes about players. Obviously, Huni, very, very good. Vulcan, outstanding in his own right, and going to be a fun one to see. EG, yes, a bad loss yesterday. We know they are still a fairly good team. I'm expecting them to end this split on a positive win rate. Cloud9, they went 17-1 in the spring split. They lost only 1 game in playoffs. I don't see a reason why C9 cannot just keep that same record over here in summer and get a nice 8-0 run to end out the split. We'll see if they can do it here as we are on to the Rift for our second game of the day. Evil Geniuses versus Cloud9.
I mean, I'm already way more excited for this EG game than I was for the one yesterday after the draft. I think that they're playing more to their strengths. GP is nice in that, it gives Huni a pick where he can kind of pop off and he can carry, but it's also not something that requires your attention constantly. It's not something that is a lane counter, right? It's more about the scaling, and he can just kind of withstand and try to play that out by himself. Svenskeren is going to keep more options as a result. It's also worth noting that Svenskeren is actually going PTA. We have been seeing more kind of variety, I think, with some of the Volibear runes. Some people going Phase Rush, some people going towards, even like Conqueror and various things, obviously more in the solo lanes. But PTA has been getting picked less, but it is still very, very strong for the 1v1 against the Lee Sin early. Can make your trades really effective there, and obviously is the added benefit of that bonus damage coming through in team fights for your teammates.
So now we're going to see what the jungle starts look like. It's bot sides for both junglers, leashless in both cases here as well, as Svenskeren just starts chunking down the red buff. Worth noting that the nerfs to jungle Volibear in this patch, the W only heals for half on jungle camps, and the other side of it is that his base attack speed is down about 5%, so he is a slower clearer and a less healthy clear. This has been pretty substantial. Volibear jungle probably still his best role, but brought down a fair bit as Licorice trades with Huni, does some decent early damage. The grass still goes on.
Huni has actually spent so much mana already. That is kind of surprising. But also worth noting that it is actually Aphelios playing lethal tempo. That is really quite uncommon these days. It feels like Conqueror is by far the most common, and then even after that, the PTA is I think a little bit more common still. So going more for kind of a late game rune here. It doesn't give you that much benefit in the lane itself, but you can sometimes use it to just proc it off a spell and then try to push in the wave with the added attack speed, and maybe that's the strategy here from Bang, looking less to actually interact and more to just keep that shove where you poke with a Q, proc the lethal tempo, and then just hard push the wave.
Now, be careful. Of course, level 2 on Alistar can be threatening. Zeyzal could always go for the headbutt pulverize, and with Aftershock, you don't really trade back on the Alistar at that point. So Zven plays respectful until the wave comes back in. Level 2, of course, here on both sides. Bit of poke on Bang doesn't mean too much. Nice Q lands. Easy auto attack, pops the Guardian. Svenskeren, I think might know what Blaber could be up to. Doesn't see him come through as Blaber goes the other way around and just sneaks right by. He's going to take... Oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Sven's like, all right, I know his jungle path. He always finishes, then goes down for my bottom jungle. Where is he? Where is he? I know he comes. He's just like, yeah, I got your grandpa. Don't worry about it. Goldenglue's here as well. They're like, yeah, I'm ready. He always fights with the scuttle. And he's like, hey guys, I'm on this. Oh, yep, I'm out. See ya. Goldenglue? Yep, not even a bubble.
Yeah,
it's the chicken at least, or the scuttle, but man.
Yeah, well, the benefit here is that he's actually forced into an awkward path, so it should be a double scuttle for Svenskeren. They have the pushing bot lane. Goldenglue is pushing up in the mid lane too, so that is the benefit here. He does kind of get escorted out as that roam from Goldenglue is rewarded by having that scuttle on both sides of the map, and they know that Huni is really the only one that has to be worried about a gank potentially right now, so he can try to play a little bit around that.
And so far, so good for Evil Geniuses, right? You got pushing in most cases. Huni is laning just fine up against Licorice. Licorice took a pretty early recall to grab refillable and cloth armor, which should make his lane pretty comfortable. Huni, of course, wants to wait till Sheen, if at all possible, which is really close for him right now as the recall comes through and should be comfortable to just kind of knock down waves at that point. Actually doesn't go all the way. Looks like he was afraid of running out of mana and just gets longsword plus mana. And that means Licorice can feel really good about this trade. Yeah, gets the stun, gets some good hits. Are the barrels going to land? Not really. Huni already at half HP when the laning phase starts.
Yep. Not the worst, though, at least, because he did get an okay trade back on Licorice. I thought that could have been a lot worse than it actually was. Huni actually had a barrel placed behind him where he was TPing into, which Licorice couldn't really run past to kill. So that allows you to threaten that easy barrel chain, and I think that's kind of what dissuaded Licorice a little bit from pushing forward. So some nice foresight there from Huni to have that in place and make sure that trade didn't go too poorly. But is falling behind in farm, and that is somewhat expected to be pressured in, and we'll see how much of this he can actually pick up at his turret.
Well, bot lane not really pushing down. Svenskeren sitting on a control ward was able to maybe look for the gank, but ultimately nothing happening on the Cloud9 side. A very, very small CS deficit for Zven and Vulcan. Kudos to Bang and Zeyzal for the lead down here. But Zeyzal basically just spending 0 mana in laning phase. Has never gone in for a play. This man could have negative mana regen, and the lane wouldn't be any different.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's pretty dangerous to go in as Alistar against these types of lanes. Pre-level 3, you're not going to try to engage at all. You really do need all 3 spells. And then even post that, there's so much slowing between the Ashe and this Bard that if you go forward and it's not like an instant kill or something and you're trying to retreat out of there, Alistar doesn't really have a lot of ability to actually escape. He's going to be looking for this roam now. Nisqy potentially could be engaged on.
Phase Rush is move speed, though, so unless you want to flash and risk that Nisqy still... Actually, the E should have been down, so Nisqy would only be able to flash or cleanse to get away, but they don't want to burn the cooldowns. Didn't think they had enough to knock him down. Still kill a control ward and give 30 gold over to Goldenglue, who is up 3 CS in this lane. You look at how EG played against TL yesterday. Goldenglue, as a result, has the worst average gold difference at 10 in the league at negative 1,000 at 10 minutes. He got absolutely slammed by Jensen yesterday. This lane obviously going a whole lot better, and some of that you can give him a pass on. Regardless, EG playing a fairly close game. Cloud9 up in gold overall, though, very slightly, as it's a big top lane lead for Licorice temporarily.
Ooh. They're actually looking to dive on this wave. This is really dangerous from Huni. We'll see if he can actually clear this out whatsoever, but Nisqy is here. I think you're pretty dead no matter what.
Ult, he has oranges. Blaber getting a bit low, can't pull it. And with the TP in for Goldenglue, this could be enough. Licorice, he's on top of the turret, the punch, the ulti in. It's going to be a trade kill at the very least. Goldenglue, takes one for the team. He TPs in and helps out. Now Blaber is an auto away from death. He can't flash follow. He's not losing the health. You gotta be kidding me. A heartbreak for Huni as Cloud9 get their second kill up in the top side.
Oh, not only does Blaber get away there, yeah, he's actually able to come back in and kill off Huni. Huni should have just counted his blessings that he didn't die on the wave and gone back to actually farm it up. Instead, that Huni mindset, he's got the killer instinct, he's going for more, and it's going to cause him to lose 2 waves probably. He'll lose a fair bit of this one. He already lost a full wave at the turret while he was actually chasing over. Cloud9 do end up, as a result, still coming out ahead on that play, but there was a lot of hesitation on that dive, honestly. It felt like they really kind of, weren't sure if they wanted to still go through with it once the ultimate was dropped and once the TP came through. You really just want to start this off with Licorice ulting him into the wall, clap him in. You have the guaranteed Q, the stun, everything follows up, the ultimate from Syndra, but they just tanked so many turret shots, from Licorice here walking over, and no one was really starting it up. So it just felt like there was split comms or something there from Cloud9. But then Huni, he has the Trial by Fire passive, he flashes in for it, but the safeguard barely came back up there for Blaber, giving him enough health to get over the wall and to come back in for the execute.
And I gotta say, it felt like Goldenglue overchased on that one as well. You saw him running forward in to chase down Blaber initially, and it kind of set him up for the easy CC out of Licorice, allowed that kill to come through for Nisqy at the very start of it all. So I think a small misplay there for him. End of the day, though, fairly close game, 1,000 gold difference. Not absurd, but I gotta say, for the back half of the split Cloud9, they were normally down 1,500 at this point in the game. Instead, they're up 1,500. Massive turnaround for the squad.
Yeah, what an improvement in the second half.
Most improved team, Cloud9.
Definitely. But this is also the aftermath of it is, so not only did Huni overchase and not get the kill, he lost multiple waves. And guess what happens when the waves die at your turret? It means it pushes away from you. Your jungler is now not on the top side. Their jungler is. The wave is frozen on you. So you're going to lose a lot more minions off of it, besides just that first 2 waves that he actually lost. Minions are going to be denied to the tower. And Licorice can just potentially freeze this. We'll see if he wants to push for some reason. But I would say you just hold. With your jungler up on this top side, Blaber's going to be level 6 soon. He just actually hit it. So if Huni tries to push this in, you do have a good angle on a gank, or even you can potentially just push it in and try to dive again, because this time might not be so lucky for Huni.
Nice little bit of damage there for Goldenglue. Still holding pretty equal in the mid lane. Again, the top lane TP went a little bit bad for him. Got an assist, but got killed. As now we look at the next play towards mid. Nisqy not going to be put to sleep. Good sideways dodge. Said, okay, maybe we dive if that one lands, but it doesn't, so out they go. By the way, cleanse still on Nisqy means there's not a lot of threat, regardless, even if the bubble does land. Zeyzal sitting on a ward to look for plays in the bot side. Bot lane just kind of farming back and forth. Aphelios and Ashe both scaling. I think Ashe actually has pretty reasonable late game teamfight damage. Blade of the Rune King plus the buffed Q is actually pretty solid, but Aphelios is obviously Aphelios.
Yeah, it's solid on Ashe, but it's nowhere near the damage potential of, you know, where those fights that you see from Aphelios, where everyone's stacked up and you get the Infernum ultimate and you're queuing across them, you're AoEing everyone. You know, the highs are much higher, but you do have decent range on the Ashe, and obviously the volley is effective. You have good initiation with the ultimate, so Ashe is a solid champion in the later stages, but you're more utility than Aphelios, you know, who is obviously a pure damage champion.
Well, finally, the wave getting pushed in. Barrels blow up. Huni gets some gold. Svenskeren finally, this is you mentioned about 2 minutes ago, finally gets to the top side of the map so Huni can feel comfortable and push the wave in, but the CSD obviously already gigantic here, as it's 60 to 80 with 10 more minutes to kill. It's the 30 CSD at 11 minutes.
Yep, and if he just stayed at his turret and farmed up that wave, he'd probably be even. And that's kind of the sad part about how top lane works, is, you know, if you make a mistake around minion waves and, you know, you overchase for a kill there, you die, you don't get that, and now your wave's screwed, you lost 2 waves to the turret, you're going to lose probably 2 more because of the push and the fact that you can't actually fix that wave without the help of your jungler. So it's a pretty catastrophic set of events that actually did trigger up on that top side. Then Huni bases, and because he didn't TP, guess what? Licorice reset the wave, so now the wave is going to bounce again. And you just kind of end up in this never-ending cycle where you're behind, so you can't actually contest enough to stop the wave from crashing, and then you can't actually push out the wave enough to crash on your opponent's turret. And basically you end up pretty screwed, but at least he is on GP, who can kind of farm from range with the barrels, and it looks like Licorice is heading down towards this dragon. They know they have TP advantage up on the top side with Huni, so Licorice is forced to do that, and as a result, Huni will be able to pick up the wave.
Play on the bottom side. No one's there to help Zven, but there isn't a lot of follow-through because a nice ulti out of Vulcan keeps Bang from helping, so Zven stays alive, running 0 summoners. Re-engage Blaber, kicks in, finds a knockup. Bang forced to flash away, re-engage towards Blaber. He is slowed, he flashes to safety, but it's not going to be enough. Zeyzal is there for the follow-through, and the kill comes in, and now the re-engage for Cloud9. Look at the burst damage. Bang is gone already. Now a re-engage yet again towards Licorice. Gigantic shield, but there's no way you get away from this one. There's no way you get out. And Huni grabs that kill despite the stun coming through for Vulcan. So it's EG winning a team fight 2-1 with control over the bottom river, with control over this Drake. And EG will continue to leave Cloud9 at 0% Drake coverage.
It's going to be the second dragon for them this game. And that sleep was huge, because that sleep just timed out as Licorice was trying to flash in to actually stun people together, and instead he flashed in as the sleep actually triggered into a stun, losing all of his health, you know, losing that summoner. And he's actually playing, you know, for a very squishy build. He's going Blade of Rune King, which is more about that 1v1. And, you know, when things don't go perfectly for you in the team fight as a set when you're playing Blade of Rune King, you're very squishy. So Zeyzal had the nice turnaround here on Zven, but this was a great peeling ultimate from Vulcan, denying Bang the opportunity to actually close the gap there. And then it was actually that previously placed ward, or no, he actually replaced another ward anyway, just right on top, that he used to actually kick in Bang. But a lot of the damage members weren't there yet. You know, if that kick was a couple seconds later and Nisqy was there, or Nisqy was there a couple seconds earlier, that would have been huge. But look at that sleep time. Right as he flashes in, he was hoping to actually get the clap in before the sleep did trigger. He did not. As a result, he was easily focused down and burst down, as, you know, he's not really building you know, any health past those beginning items. So Licorice does get picked off, and Cloud9, you know, all jokes aside about the second half and everything, this is a competitive game, right? And they have been having more and more competitive games. You know, in the early stages of the split, they were just running over everyone. It felt like pretty much right off the bat, and we were kind of really excited when a team could even challenge them in the early minutes. Now it seems to be more of the regular. You know, people are able to stay with Cloud9, you know, keep even with them in the early stages. Some teams are getting ahead even. and it's more of a question of can you maintain that? Can you actually out-team fight Cloud9 later on? Because even when something goes bad for them, as it did, Cloud9 doesn't back off. They continue to play towards their comp strengths. They continue to play towards their win conditions. They're not just going to get passive out of nowhere, so that's what you really have to watch out for, and you've got to be able to kind of keep your foot on the gas the whole way through.
Now turret plates have dropped across the map. 1,300 gold difference, not massive here. Oh, that's a big stun. Is it enough for Goldenglue? He's going to be fine. He puts the mid laner to sleep. Big chunk on a Nisqy. And that means there's no more plays to be had in the mid lane. Maybe just some wave clear. I got to point out that the Rift Herald was dropped after that fight by Blaber up by his Gromp. And that Rift Herald was killed by EG before it ever touched the turret. The bot lane turret is pristine right now. The Herald was killed, but ultimately did nothing on the C9 side. So the neutral objectives for C9 have not amounted to much. It is all just kills for them. EG on the other side stacking Drakes, and the gold is close.
And off of those bot lane plays, it's actually so big for Huni because, yes, he's still down farm, but he's down less because he was actually the one with the TP, so he got up top, he pushed it in the wave, then he picks up 2 kills. So, you know, we were talking about how screwed he was. He's actually ahead now. Nice sidestep, though, from Svenskeren.
Really great stun. Goodbye, Svenskeren. He sidestepped to dodge the Tempered Fate, but the rest of the engage was there. Kill comes through for Blaber. He's got 2 to himself. The Herald picked up, and Ashe can send it to top lane.
Can look to just drop that right up in top lane. I assume they will grab first turret for themselves there also. Bang and Zeyzal can go up to look to defend. I do believe that they spotted Blaber moving towards that bottom side, but we'll see if Zven and Vulcan actually do want to drop it. It doesn't look like they do just yet. We'll be holding on to that, perhaps trying to look for a mid lane siege with it or something like that.
Well, right now minions go down, and it's time for another pressure play as damage coming across, and this is going to be a pretty easy fight towards, well, just Licorice wave clearing, really. Nothing too much going on right now. We've got no Baron for a while, no Drake for a little while as well. First power spikes coming through. Infinity Edge done for Bang. Ruin King done for Zven as he goes towards Hurricane. Very standard builds on both sides. Huni manicuring the wave, and that's going to be, whoop, about 40 bonus gold as he knocks them all down. Vulcan heading back to the bottom side as Zven reinforces. They weren't seen, so it's now temporarily a 3v1. You can't exactly Ashe engage a Gangplank, so not too much to do here. Volleys to stop a recall. There isn't one. Herald still has plenty of time to summon that one, so Zven can take his time, but bot lane turret going to take a lot of damage when that Herald does finally summon.
Yeah, a lot of members coming from EG down towards this bottom side, though, and they do have a pink ward there, so Svenskeren is unspotted for now. We'll see if they can look to try to find some sort of engage. If Zven does move up and drop the Herald, he could be at risk, but Cloud9 know this, and will just back off after pushing out that wave. They're probably going to wait for Blaber to move down towards the side of the map. He, procs that vision plant, is going to try to take the scuttle out as well, to give a little bit more protection for his bottom lane and play aggressive here in the bottom lane.
Well, again, very close game between these two squads as we wait to see when the Huni win condition comes through. Checking on EG with their role swaps so far. Yeah, I mean, Huni's had a rough time in the early game, but they picked him for his mid to late game prowess. So far, the first TV bot side was good. Goldenglue holding up against Nisqy, which is just fine. And that is a nice bubble. That is a possible catch. Ashe does not have any way out except for heal. Ignite is on. The shield keeps him alive. Guardian comes through as well. But then, he's at 5 health. Nearly dies to the corrupting potion. But another sleep comes through. This could be even more damage. Is it enough to kill off Blaber? Vulcan forced to jump away as well. Ulti not going to land from Bang. They just walked in a straight line. Didn't expect that one. But that is a huge chunk down. That is a Herald summoned just before the recall, because what else are you going to do? Bang goes down as Nisqy and Blaber do it better. Kicks back in Zeyzal. He's tanky, though. Finds the stun. Cannot quite find the re-engage. He wants in the flash in for the Q. Stopwatch buys some time. They must get it next time. Surely it's going to be enough. Zeyzal gets the stun. Nisqy cannot get away with it, and the follow-through kill comes through for Goldenglue. Now Licorice is going to try. Finds a big ulti. Finds a big shield. Finds a big punch. And knocks down Goldenglue, but it's not going to be enough. The kills come through again. 3 for 3 overall, I believe, is the score. As the turret finally takes a shot down to the mid lane, Svenskeren's going to knock that one down. And the Drake is alive. For the current members, it is a 4 versus 2 on the map. EG should be able to go towards their 3rd Drake.
This would put them at sole point, and what a crazy exchange there around that mid lane. Goldenglue actually credit deserved for a lot of that action, for a lot of it going their way, as he hit multiple sleeps that put C9 members incredibly low. Zven was out of the fight right off the bat. There's no smite on Svenskeren, mind you. Cloud9 won't know this. It's pretty much impossible to actually track that timer with multiple charges, and the fact that it's using the jungle all the time. So they do just have to kind of back it up.
Oh, danger. If that Bard Q landed, that was probably a lot of damage. Svenskeren did not have flash, did not have ulti. If that lands, if he waits one more second, walks up and lands that stun, maybe that's a kill. Regardless though, third Drake and a team fight.
Yep, so this is already after we had seen Zven get chunked out, was pushed out of the fight pretty much immediately. Goldenglue then landed to sleep on Blaber, chunked him out, lands to sleep on Vulcan, pushes him back. But Blaber and Nisqy, so adept in these skirmishing situations, they're able to get the kill over onto Bang. Blaber just barely not getting out. Vulcan might have been able to block that one coming through from Goldenglue. Then Licorice arrives, but it's a little bit too little too late. He is able to get one kill back here, thankfully for him, but is very squishy. Again, when you do go this Blade of the Rune King style, you are really, really squishy in the team fights, and it's, you know, it's more about that side lane where they kind of lost a lot of the advantage off of that bot lane TP play that Huni made earlier. So, you know, he doesn't run that side lane like perhaps he thought he was going to be able to.
Well, and it means the game is remaining fairly close. I will say the gold lead is stretching slightly. Cloud9, 1,500 gold lead, which is still solidly them being ahead, but Mountain Soul comes in soon. It's basically straight stats. It's really good against things like Syndra and you know, assassin-ish Lee Sin, you know, grabbing some more attack damage onto him. So the flat shield really, really valuable there for Bang and Goldenglue especially. Not bad on Huni either. So that's going to be something that's real concerning on the Cloud9 side. Mountain Soul almost couldn't be better in some cases here. We'll see. That's going to come through in 3 minutes, 20 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I would way rather have EG's position in the game right now. Yes, Cloud9 is up a little bit in gold, but you would easily trade that gold for the 3 dragons. Trying to defend this fairly aggressively. They do have Blaber coming down, but they're in trouble now.
Instant engage. Vulcan, why are you near an Alistar? That dive is effortless. The turret might go down as well. The re-engage would be 5v4. They stun a Volibear. That does not matter. He gets nothing. They burn 2 ultis and bleed a kill and a turret. EG getting, catching Cloud9 out in the mid game. C9 making uncharacteristic mistakes.
Yeah, Cloud9, it's a little bit of a brazen attempt at defense there. The fact that they tried to stay around with just the 2 members. They had Nisqy actually pushing a side lane. Licorice was in the bot lane there too. And they wanted to try to hold on to this turret as kind of this bastion of defense, you know, to be able to get easier access over to the next dragon, which they know is going to be so important going forward in this game. But instead, you know, when you use the Bard ult to actually, you know, try to delay a little bit, you don't have that as a defensive tool anymore. And Ashe plus Bard alone will never be able to actually hold that turret against 4. The dive is pretty easy to pull off for EG.
And I gotta give credit where it's due to Huni. The top lane, as you mentioned, was a catastrophic start, right? He greeted, it's his own making, it's his own fault. He dove for a kill on Blaber and it backfired and he died. Huni had a game start of 0-1-1 with a 30 CS deficit at 11 minutes. Since then, he has kept up in farm equally and gone 3-0-0 from that point on. Licorice has gone 1-2 from that point on with an equal CSD. Huni from a deficit is outperforming Licorice from ahead.
Yep, and a lot of it is just off of the team fighting, right? It's less about that 1v1 and more just about how effective Huni has been able to be in those team fights, and the fact that, you know, he did pick up some of the killing blows in the bottom lane, really dug him out of the hole that he had kind of made for himself. So credit to him for being in the right place, right time, from having that TP. You know, despite being behind in lane, he still saved his TP. He didn't actually TP back to lane, as I think many players would do, and you know, because he had that, he was able to answer that play in the bottom side, pick up 2 kills, put himself right back into the game, and now he's in a position where he's outscaling his opponent, he's ahead of his opponent, you know, and he's going to be incredibly effective in team fights. And EG, honestly, may have this game all but wrapped up if they can grab Soul.
Zeyzal wants in against his old squad. Bang has to kite away. Burns, Summoner Heal, and his QSS. Arrow's not going to land. That could have been a really big deal, but Nisqy is slowed down. Good quick shield for Blaber. Redemption's going to bring them back up to full health. Huni can't find a barrel chain because it would take too long. Goldenglue with a Banshee's Veil. Feels comfortable to push up. Can't find the sleep either. Will there be a re-engage? Q-Lance. This is not the ideal target. Blaber almost goes to the play. Zeyzal knocks him back. Here comes the team fight. Licorice to the front line. Svenskeren goes golden. Blaber finds damage on Huni, but Gangplank is tanky enough. Big punch comes in. Can't quite kill Volibear. Licorice got to be careful. Does have flash. Does he need to burn it? CC yet again, but he is not the best target. Zeyzal forced to flash away. Licorice a bit low, but is going to stay alive. Bang cannot find his opening either. C9 scrap and ultimately don't come away with much of anything. Health bar is low on both sides. No kills either team.
Yeah, it's hard to really tell who came out ahead there, but I do think that overall the advantage should be in the favor of EG, because the only one who actually had to go back to base immediately was Zeyzal on their side. EG are the ones with now priority around here. Both their soul laners are still healthy, and Bang, is going to be able to get over here pretty soon. He's just cleaning up mid lane wave, healing up off of that. It's C9, though, that actually leashed the Dragon here first. They're going to try to rush this down. They know they have to get it, but it's going to be dangerous. Zeyzal's in a position to flank here. Could potentially go.
Flank. Can they stop Blaber? Hex flash in, finds the double stun. Licorice forced out. Vulcan a bit low, goes away. The first kill comes through on Zven. One for them, but the trade kills could be too good. It's a 1-for-1 so far. The backline's cutting away. Huni at 5 HP, just barely lives. Zeyzal finds another stun. Tries to lock up Licorice, but where is the follow-through? No one's near him. Redemption heals 3 members of C9 back up. Danger now for EG. Goldenglue's in a bad spot. The double stun. Heroics for Licorice. Finds the first kill, and now Cloud9 outnumbered. But Huni has TV'd back in. Barrel chain's not going to land, but maybe positioning is good enough on the EG side. Problem is, Svenskeren is dead. They cannot secure this Drake. It's a blue steal. That is crucial because Goldenglue was out of mana, and now he can team fight again. Will there be a paddle star? There is, and he solo kills Vulcan. This might be the lead they need. Flashes forward, looks for Blaber, tries to find the slow, will land the Q, and forcing him out. And now the GP ulti on, they know he cannot join this one. Huni can easily force the jungler away, and this means no one is going to stop the Mountain Drake from going over except Licorice. Can Licorice do it all? The arrow's going to land onto the mid laner. The fight comes through, and it's going to be Goldenglue securing it, plus the kill. Mountain Soul through for Evil Geniuses. The gold is nearly tied. EG are beating Cloud9.
What a performance here from EG, coming back off of what was a terrible performance against TL. They are looking really, really good here, able to fight this one out by narrow margins. Goldenglue landing to sleep early on. He has been great in a lot of these fights. And the flank from Vulcan, that really was what was key, getting the engage onto both the bot lane members. Nisqy chunked out, he's pushed out. Pretty much all of Cloud9 was pushed back immediately off of that flank, and their bot laner going down. Then Licorice here, stuck around and was looking for this play. Huni had actually gone back to base, had to TP back in, and he catches multiple members there, stuns them together, allows them to get an additional kill. But Huni TPing back in with full health there was just too much, and now you are playing from behind here as Cloud9 with the soul to actually deal with, which is going to negate a lot of that flat pen that actually is coming out from Nisqy and be an additional source of shielding, right? You don't have that threat of just 100 to 0 nearly as easily with the Lee Sin, with the Syndra, who are looking to burst down members like Bang, and very likely he's playing overheal. People almost always do. When you add in that, when you add in the red gun overheal, you add in the Mountain Soul, you can have hundreds of shielding potentially at the start of a fight that just negates a lot of your combo.
Absolutely. So on a heal, going to be back up in a second for Bang. The QSS back up as well, so he's going to feel pretty comfortable against most engaged tools here. Cloud9, still, they have come back from far worse. C9 typically have incredibly good mid to late game plays. That said, they are certainly behind here, and maybe they've been outscaled comp-wise based on the fact that Mountain Soul is in. I will say, Blade of the Ruined King works out very well against Mountain Soul. They're at full health for longer, so you get more damage out of the percent current health damage. There's a very minor thing there that helps out Zven. But still, yes, the back foot for C9 on this side. Playing around the top river. The dead scuttle, though, means that EG will not lose vision control for a while. Goldenglue wants to sleep, can't quite find Nisqy. Ulti almost lands, re-engage comes through. A lot of damage in the back lines. Then he can try, but he can't get away. It's a 5v4, and EG want in again. Vulcan also cannot live as Svenskeren follows through. And it's a 5v3 on the map, and EG are on the chase, looking at the top river, looking at the top jungle, hoping to push back Nisqy. And now they can play around this Baron. But be careful, Blaber is alive. The man has landed hard smites before, and he can do so again. So it's Zeyzal's time to bodyguard. Svenskeren and Bang going to take this Baron as a duo. Ward coverage pretty good on EG, means Blaber cannot sneak around. It's going to be damage through on from Goldenglue. Look for the sleep, can't get it yet. Blaber once again pushed away. 2-manning Baron as 3 pushback C9. Blaber's got to be in a lot of danger here. Slowed down, and Huni is on the chase. The rest of the squad can now come through. A very well-played Baron dance to know that Sven can tank this forever, and Bang can keep putting in the autos. There is no one in range to steal, not just yet. Huni keeps marking the squad. Very, very well played Baron. That's the kind of play you want to see. Evil Geniuses show you how it's done. And with no threat at all, they claim Baron against Cloud9.
EG is just looking incredible down the stretch here. They easily disengage off the Bard. Ultimate are able to avoid that, then turn it straight around. Zeyzal has been on point with his engages, knocking down Zven, taking down that Baron incredibly easily, as you said. That was not even close to a 50-50. They left no window whatsoever for Blaber and Nisqy to outplay that. You know, some teams would have left just Zeyzal or maybe just Zeyzal and Goldenglue. Then there's an opportunity for Cloud9 to maybe fight their way out of that and get towards the Baron. When you sent all 3 members over to mark Blaber and Nisqy, they couldn't even take a fight. Like, they just had to straight up retreat. There was no opportunity whatsoever, and now Cloud9 was looking for a pick on that bottom side, hoping someone would get greedy from EG and come down there to mark it, but they are really behind the play here now in mid lane. They're going to lose both the towers in top lane, pretty much for sure, and it's going to mean a huge injection of gold into the hands of EG, who are already getting very far ahead. Bang nearly has his death stance. Huni's working on an IE. Like, he is going for the really expensive late game build, and he's closing in on it.
Turret number 5 falls. Baron power play 2,600 right now, and it's going to be recalls real quick. Huni level 16. Does he have the finished Infinity Edge? Remote reminder, not quite. Gets some more crit though, and he's going to walk away. So he's not going to burn TP until they need him. A bit of scouting from the Volibear, some pressure at the top side. Maybe the inhibitor turrets will not crack just yet. A minute and a half still though on the Baron buff means a lot of play still to be had. The wave is cleared out, and the cannons begin their siege. A little bit of damage. Here comes the engage. Stuns on 3 of them. Nisqy, he's at 5 health right now. He's going to be enough for the follow through. He's flashing away for his life, and Zeyzal cannot catch him. So Zeyzal may indeed die. In the backline is Licorice. It's a 1-for-0 so far. Licorice tries to get away. He can't do it. Turret turned off. It's a 1-for-1. It's 4v4 on the map as Huni rejoins the fight. Zven can only do minor bits of wave clear as top inhibitor will fall, and EG can walk away and look for the next bit of the siege. Power play still looks solid, 3,200, and there's still a minute left in the Baron buff.
So critical, though, that Nisqy did survive. You know, he is the strongest member right now on Cloud9. And if he dies, you're going to lose the mid lane inhib there for sure as well. So barely able to eke away, keep enough health to survive Zeyzal, who had a great engage again. Zeyzal has just been so on point with the Hex Flash engages, you know, going over the wall with the GP ult to slow them down, you know, finding critical members. And despite the fact that Nisqy limped away, it meant that the rest of EG had enough time to actually knock down the turret, to knock down the inhibitor, to kill off Licorice. And it's going to likely just be up to this Elder Dragon now. Cloud9 needs something to get some sort of hold in this game, to get some sort of purchase in this game. To really have any sort of chance. And I think that the Elder may be their last hope. You know, if they don't get this Elder, I think it's probably just completely done.
Well, here comes the attempt as Licorice comes down into the river, and it is EG looking to contest this one. Elder Dragon. Baron buff times out, 5,000 gold lead plus a Mountain Soul. EG are ahead, but this is the fight that matters most as Zeyzal wants around. Doesn't land the Hex Flash though. Ulti lands on Svenskeren, goes golden. Ulti across now from the Gangplank. Vulcan's got to be careful, but first it's going to be Nisqy dropping down. Traded back though as Aphelios drops as well. Zven cannot stay alive. He gets killed. Huni is on the board. Zeyzal's very, very low. The double kill in for the jungler, but now it's a 3v2. Cloud9 can only run the flash forward. It's not going to be enough for Blaber. Vulcan against the world. There's minions inside the base. It's time for EG to close it out. There is a 1-week contract on Goldenglue, and he's making the case for himself now. EG should keep this lineup. They just beat the defending LCS champions in 32 minutes. The wave is going down. Vulcan cannot defend this. 2 games in a row. Cloud9 will be upset. And this is an exciting split here in summer. Who is the best team in the league? Clearly C9 are mortal. They are only tied for first now. EG with a great win on Saturday will knock down the Nexus. Huni's and Goldenglue's triumphant return to the LCS.
Goldenglue and Svenskeren flashing the C9 logo there as the Nexus explodes as well. Insult to injury, the Swole Bros used to play on Cloud9, getting some sweet, sweet revenge against their former team. And what a win. EG honestly played incredible. You know, Goldenglue had a really rough showing yesterday. All of EG really did. But Goldenglue was incredible this game. He was so on point, landing the sleeps, landing poke nonstop. You know, Huni bouncing back from what was admittedly, you know, a kind of a self-created deficit. But he was huge down the stretch. EG looked very, very good here. Zeyzal on point with the engages. It felt like he found a carry in every single fight. You know, this is an EG that could really go far if they can replicate that level of success, because there's not a lot to say here about, oh, well, Cloud9 didn't draft well, or Cloud9 is playing something weird. This was a pretty standard Cloud9 draft, a pretty standard Cloud9 game. They just got outplayed at the end of the day.
They got outplayed. C9's one lead was Huni over chasing, and despite that over chase, watch from minute 9 onwards because there weren't any mistakes left. That was great by him. EG, I want to see this lineup again next week. Grayson, I hope your agent is good because you're getting signed to an LCS team and they better pay you the right amount because EG just beat the defending champions because you joined the roster. I want to see this team again. I want to see him next week. I want to see him go deep in playoffs. EG was a top 3 team in spring. This maybe looks better in summer. I want to keep seeing it happening. On the other side, though, we will hear more about how the Swole Bros took down